inside the American Airlines Arena. Second game this year between the Heat and the Nets. Miami a 1-point winner against New Jersey here in early November. We hope you enjoy every bounce and basket of this rematch right along with us on Sun Sports. And good evening, South Florida. Happy holidays, everyone, and thanks for joining us for another exciting night of Miami Heat basketball. With the coach, Tony Fiorentino, I'm Eric Reed. The Heat, well, upon some good times recently, they've won 5 of 6 since Santa's biggest helper, Shaquille O'Neal, returned to help out the Heat. Now, Miami did rout Atlanta Tuesday night by 19, and the Diesel scored 28 points in 27 minutes, had 8 dunks along his dominating way.
The Big Daddy was big in a big way. He was patrolling the paint, dominating inside, getting a lot of his points on dunks, just being a big monster inside, drawing fouls as he went to the rim, following up teammates' misses, throwing it down from different angles, even with the left hand, which he doesn't use that much, and admiring his work. This guy totally controlled the paint, led the Heat to over 50 points scored in the paint area, Eric.
And he was as efficient as it gets, 13 of 15 shooting, the double-double with 10 rebounds, and as stated earlier, 8 slam dunks, no mercy on Atlanta. Well, tonight, the 27th game this season for the Heat, and for the first time, this team is healthy and whole. That includes point guard Jason Williams, who returns to the starting lineup tonight, and Tony, Pat Riley's rotation of players, all available for the very first time.
It is, Eric. It should be exciting. The Heat went 5-2 with Jay Will out, with Gary Payton filling in just fine. But they're happy to have their point guard back. He was playing arguably his best basketball of his career. He has a high three-point scoring percentage, and he and Dwayne Wade formed arguably the most aggressive backcourt going to the rim in the NBA.
Now, Tony, tonight's opposition, the New Jersey Nets, arrive in South Florida playing their best basketball of the season. They're a game above 500, but they've won 4 in a row, and they've averaged 107 points per game in their current winning streak. Coach, they've rediscovered their way to win. That's with aggressive defense leading to fast break Nets basketball.
You're right, and Vince Sanity is the guy that's leading this. The guy that started the last 5 All-Star games has been unbelievable of late. He's scoring all different ways. He's got runners in the lane. He's shooting the outside shot. He's going to the basket. They're feeding off of his energy, and he's averaging over 32 points a game in the last 5 games. He's just been unbelievable offensively, and they're riding his coattails, Eric.
Now, Vince Carter, he played very well last year in the first-round playoff bow out to Miami, and Carter, again, back on track for the Nets. But there are 2 other pieces of that perimeter triangle. They would be the point guard Jason Kidd, the small forward Richard Jefferson. They form quite a perimeter triangle. Kidd, one of the game's great all-time playmakers. Richard Jefferson, one of the league's best finishers. And these 2 clubs met in early November here at the Heat's house. Miami was without Shaq, but the game did have a lot of drama. Wasn't decided until the final second ticked off the clock. We expect another good one 2 nights before Christmas. Early stocking stuffer for you. Heat and Nets next on Sun Sports. Miami, we greet you with good tidings and your Southwest Airlines starting lineups. That was the blueprint that Pat Riley and Randy Funn had for the Heat starting group before the season started. And here in game number 27, they start all healthy and together for the very first time. Jason Williams back for the first time since December 7th at San Antonio. Well, speaking of health, Richard Jefferson on his own missed 49 games a year ago with injury. The perimeter trio has been relatively healthy this year. Same could not be said at power forward, where Clifford Robinson makes his 8th start of the year for the injured Jason Collins. The 7-footer and a Stanford Collins will not dress tonight. He has a sprained right ankle. Well, the Nets, they had lost a bunch of games in a row. They'd lost 3 straight prior to this 4-game winning streak. And with a look inside how the Nets have rediscovered their path to victory, we send it over cross court to Jason Jackson.
Eric, thank you very much. Happy holidays, Heat fans. We rewind actually a week ago to today, and head coach Lawrence Frank had a very simple message for his team prior to taking on the Denver Nuggets last Friday night. play loose. The result, an overtime victory in which the team had 26 fast break points. They hit 12 of 24 threes in that game. And Coach Frank has a very simple message in this situation. He didn't think that win changed anything on the season or changed anything they had accomplished or didn't accomplish. But what it was a stepping stone, something to build on for the rest of the season. To date, the team has constructed a 4-game winning streak, and over that stretch, 3 of those wins have come against Western Conference foes with winning records. An impressive resume coming into tonight's contest, Eric.
All right, thanks, Jason. There's a look at the impressive numbers for Lawrence Frank's Nets over the 4-game winning streak. And look at the fast break points at 25 per game. That's up 13 points per game from their first 20 games, which they lost 12 of. First game this year against Miami, the Heat held the Nets to only 10 fast break points. In that game, the Nets did have 16 offensive rebounds for 15 second chance points, and Richard Jefferson in that contest came away with a season best total of 15 boards. Now Jason Williams back in as the Heat starting point guard. Vince Carter back atop the Nets scoring chart. He had 32, and these clubs collided in early November. That was a 90-89 Heat win on this court, November the 7th. Well, our officiating crew assigned to work tonight's contest: Derek Stafford, Tony Brown, and Bill Kennedy. Heater 5-1 since Shaq came back, 4-1 since Pat Riley rejoined the club as the head coach. Yes, Shaquille O'Neal and Nenad Krstić in the center circle. Derek Stafford will throw the ball into the air and put this game in play. And off we go, South Florida, on another NBA adventure. Glad you're with us. Shaquille O'Neal, a man who gives out plenty of Christmas joy, tried to steal the tap. Nets will get it first.
He got caught. Sometimes it's because the toss is too short by the referee, but that time he got caught, it will be New Jersey ball.
Tony, the Nets come in the play tonight, 7th in the East. At the moment, they trail the 76ers in the Atlantic Division by a half game. Heat lead the Southeast Division by 4 games over the Wizards. Magic 4.5 back. Krstić, they run offense for him early, and he misses the baseline pop. Jason Williams quickly into the offensive end. Haslam's 18-footer.
And you can attribute that to the aggressiveness of Jay Will. I mentioned at the opening, arguably he and Wade are the most aggressive backcourt in the NBA going to the rim.
Pat Riley talked about the aggressive drives by Jason Williams, how much freedom it's created for Dwayne Wade. Williams makes the defense honor his drive. Carter misses the long jumper. Haslam clears the rebound of Williams. Heat up 2-0. Williams on the drive. Left-handed shot blocked by Kidd, but a foul on Jason Kidd.
And right off the bat, Jay Will takes the man off the dribble twice. One led to a basket on 2 passes to Udonis, and that time he drew the foul. This is part of what Pat Riley wants to emphasize here. More aggressiveness on offense, going to the rim in transition.
Jason Williams back after missing 7 games in a row. Hasn't played since the December 7th loss at San Antonio. Williams was averaging 17 points per game over an 11-game stretch prior to the tendonitis flaring up. And Coach Riley was talking about the couple of weeks of rest and time off for Williams and how he's added a lot of stretching and flexibility work. Yoga may be in the vocabulary for Jason Williams. Keeping those muscles stretched helps prevent the wear and tear of tendonitis.
Yeah, he stressed to him that it's not a one-time thing. You're going to have this most of your career, so you've got to take care of it now and try to strengthen it for your career, not just now.
Shaquille O'Neal with a block on Krstić inside. He erased that layup. Dwayne Wade losing the ball to Krstić, and Shaquille reaching into the cookie jar to knock it out of bounds. Tony, we should make mention that even though the Heat cruised to a 19-point win over Atlanta Tuesday night, not a usual game for Dwayne Wade. Took only 6 shots from the field and tied his season low with only 14 points.
Well, D-Wade's not one of those guys to force his shots. That's what they were giving him that night. He didn't try to force anything. Shaq, as we mentioned, had 8 dunks. So you take what the defense is giving you and you go with the flow.
Jason Kidd gets New Jersey on the scoreboard. His first hoop of the game. Williams kept his dribble alive, and it rolled off. O'Neal underneath, put it up and in. The foul on Cliff Robinson.
Again, the 3rd time now in 5 possessions that Jay Will took it to the rim. That time it rolled off, but Shaq was able to get the rebound. So he's being aggressive, attacking with that left-hand dribble, and Shaq goes over the top. Good job, no foul, finishes and draws the foul.
And Shaquille O'Neal has given the Heat a whole different kind of presence now that he's back in the lineup. Coach, the Heat have had 50 points in the paint or more in 4 straight games, averaging 53 in the paint in that span, and at a season-high 56 points in the paint against Atlanta on Tuesday.
The Heat are 13th in the NBA for points in the paint, one of the league leaders last year. We're going to see the Heat get back to being one of the league leaders with Shaq in the lineup.
Well, they've outscored 7 straight opponents in the paint ever since the San Antonio game. Heat lead by 5. Vince Carter driving past Haslam. Oh, yes, a jackknife dunk for Vince Carter. That he can do.
What you're trying to do with Vince Carter is try to crowd him and not let him get to the launching pad like D. Wade does, make him shoot jump shots.
Carter coming off a 32-point game at Orlando on Wednesday night. Here's Williams for 3. Off the front rim, and Kristich doing a nice job screening away O'Neal. The Nets winning in Orlando Wednesday by 11, 96-85, as James Posey grabs a rebound and hits ahead for Jason Williams. O'Neal against the double team, put it up quickly. Haslam missing on the tip, and Cliff Robinson outletting for Kidd. Kidd now in his 12th season out of the University of California. This is Jefferson shooting over Posey, and O'Neal tracks down the rebound for Miami. Carter defending Wade, who pitches back to Jason Williams, who hits the jumper. 4 points here in the first 3 minutes for Jason Williams.
They like to complement each other that way. That time it was Wade penetrating, getting it to Jay Will. Later in the game, you'll see the opposite.
So Dwayne Wade already with 2 assists before taking his first shot. Vince Carter, he's been more assertive during their winning streak after deferring a little bit earlier this season to this man, Richard Jefferson, whose pass goes astray. Shot clock sounds, and the Nets turn it over.
Eric, that was all Shaquille O'Neal that time. He jumped out on the pick and made Carter dribble towards half court. And then when Jefferson went baseline, he went and helped his teammate out, made him pass it, forced a 24-second clock.
You just got a glimpse of Lawrence Frank, the 35-year-old head coach of the Nets. In his second full season, he was hired back in late January of 2004 after the Nets parted ways with Byron Scott. Shaquille O'Neal in the low post over Cliff Robinson. Well, the Big Daddy has 5 of Miami's first 11 points.
Most teams have a problem guarding Shaq down there because he's not only big, he's athletic, he's got great footwork and a good touch.
11-4 as Carter spins and finishes, plus the foul.
Vince Carter, we told you he was on a roll, averaging 32 a game in the 4-game winning streak. As he comes down, he spins on Shaq, and you see Udonis reach in. He's got to move his legs a little deeper in there. And then earlier, Udonis had no shot right there. Vince Carter's too quick, did the inside-out dribble like Wade does, and then did a reverse dunk.
Vince Carter's had 30 points or more in 3 of the Nets' last 4 games. He is the number 12 scorer this season in the NBA at 23 points per game. Already has 5 here in the first quarter. 5 of New Jersey's 7 and their last 5. Here's Wade down the middle, lobbing for the Diesel. Another dunk.
New Jersey was in a containment press that time, and the Heat attacked, and you saw the result.
3rd assist for Dwayne Wade. 3rd field goal for Shaquille O'Neal, who has 7 of Miami's 13 points. Diesel with 8 dunks Tuesday against the Hawks as Kidd aims a 3, ricochets off to Jason Williams, and Kidd tried to pick his pocket.
Jason Kidd was open because the Heat had rotated to stop Carter coming off the screen. So you have to give up something. Jay Will ran out on him, and Kidd missed a shot.
Nets have hit just 3 of their first 9 shots. And they've been out-rebounded here in the early going, 7-2. Good hedge out by Kristich on Wade. Then Vince Carter picks up the body-to-body foul on Dwayne Wade. First on Vince Carter. 3rd on the Nets.
Good re-screen by Udonis. That time Wade had nowhere to go. Udonis re-screened him, and Carter drew the foul.
14 seconds left on the shot clock, right into the big fella. And Kristich comes down with a rebound. 3rd rebound for Nenad Kristich. He has all of New Jersey's rebounds. Now the 7-footer spinning on the baseline, using the pump fake to draw second foul on the Heat's starting power forward, Udonis Haslem.
Antoine Walker will be in soon, probably.
Now the warm-up pants already being stripped off. Here comes Antoine Walker, Miami's first man off the bench tonight. Walker, 8 straight games with a triple, 5 straight games in double figures. He's playing better and better off the bench, and recently his minutes stabilizing. Haslem minutes going down a little bit. And this is Kristich, the 7-footer in his second year, averaging 13 points a game. He was all rookie second team a year ago, and there we see Walker coming on for Haslem. Tony Kristich played very well in the first round playoff series against Miami, averaged 18 points, 7.5 boards, and shot 56% in the Heat's 4-game sweep over the Nets.
Very skilled big guy. He's a very good offensive rebounder, likes to turn over the left shoulder in the low post. He goes to the basket hard, especially off pick and rolls when he rolls. So he's a tough cover inside for most bigs in the NBA.
Here's Wade, baseline pull-up. He missed it, and the rebound down to Kristich, and that was the first shot of the ball game taken by Dwayne Wade.
And I think that was the first time New Jersey played zone at looked like a 2-3 zone off the made free throw.
How about the matchup down this end with Wade defending Vince Carter? A busy night of work for Dwayne as Posey tracks down the rebound of another net miss. Antoine Walker defended now by Jefferson, and it goes Shaq. That's a goaltend.
You mentioned the matchup between Wade and Carter. Carter has started the last 5 All-Star games. It's going to be interesting to see who starts it this year, because Carter is listed as a guard on the All-Star ballot, and D. Wade and Iverson are guards.
And now what we have here, is it a 2-3 zone?
Looks
yes,
that
it
way.
is.
Yep.
Miami's moved to a zone defense halfway through this first quarter, leading by 7. 6 on the shot clock for New Jersey. Kidd lets it fly. Missed on the 3, rebounded Antoine Walker. Here comes Jason Williams. One bouncing for Walker. Wade posting up Kidd. Quick move, and the finish.
There's that transition offense again. Wade went right down into the low post off the miss. He contested Kidd's shot at one end, and then he went down into the low post. Kidd's a very good defender, but Wade took him up as he went baseline. Good spin move, good pass by Walker. Watch as he goes baseline. They think he's going to reverse. He comes back on this side. Good finish by Flash. 12 points. He's doing everything for the Heat. Getting rebounds of missed shots by teammates, getting down low, posting people up, finishing with dunks, doing all kinds of stuff. Good footwork inside. The guy's been a real tough cover for most people, especially now since he had that rest after missing 18 games.
A very quick start for Shaquille O'Neal in this first quarter. The Heat have scored 10 of their 17 points in the painted area, and the Nets have hit on just 3 of their first 11 shots. New Jersey called the timeout. They do not make a change in their lineup. Neither do the Heat. Only substitution so far, Antoine Walker in for Udonis Haslem, who picked up 2 fouls. And it's Walker that deflected the ball away from Kristich.
And the Heat came back out in a man-to-man. You wonder if New Jersey was expecting a zone there.
And here, Kristich will defend Antoine Walker. Cliff Robinson still on O'Neal. Wade dumps it low for Posey, knocked out of bounds by Vince Carter. Still 10 seconds left on the shot clock.
Good play by Posey, not allowing Carter to try to go after that loose ball.
James Posey finds Wade, who double pumps and misses. And the rebound taken by Clifford Robinson. The 39-year-old Cliff Robinson, the NBA's only player who is in his 17th professional season.
At a UConn, grew up in Buffalo, New York.
Here's Nenad Kristich launching from 20, and Cliff Robinson could not get past Walker for that rebound. Dump low for Shaq, flipped it up, but it rolled off after a nice Jason Williams setup. Heat still lead by 9. This is Carter down the lane. And Wade gets into the play for the steal, but the saving pass taken by the Nets.
Smart play by Wade. When you save the ball near the other team's basket, throw it back towards half court. So even if they get it, they don't score right away. You can reset your defense.
Vince Carter lets it go from the corner, misses on the 3. Antoine Walker already his 3rd rebound, but he didn't hang on to it long. Now the Nets have missed 10 of their first 13 shots, yet the Heat have squandered their most 2 recent chances to get back on offense.
You can see how active Antoine Walker has been of late, not just on offense, but he knocked that ball away on defense in the rotation. He had that rebound, tried to outlet to Jay Will, tried to do it a little too quick.
Antoine Walker been playing very efficiently off the bench for Miami recently. Vince Carter straightaway 3 ball. And Shaquille O'Neal comes down with his 5th rebound of the first quarter. Jay Will pitching back for a Posey 3. In and out and taken by Vince Carter. That was the Heat's 2nd miss from downtown. Carter spinning, flipping, and drawing another Heat foul. And it will go on the Diesel. Shaquille O'Neal, his first and the 3rd team foul on Miami in this first quarter. And now Alonzo Mourning is set to come back. So missed the Heat's last game Tuesday night against Atlanta with an upper respiratory infection. Glad to see him healthy and back. Heat fans, we want to remind you, wear red to the ball game Christmas Day on Sunday against the Lakers. Heat will be distributing 20,000 free red Heat Reebok t-shirts, sponsored by Pepsi. So if you don't got a red shirt, we got you covered. Heat will also be distributing candy cane bangers to all fans that head to the Heat's house. So get in the holiday spirit, bring back the red zone. And the coach and I getting the early jump with the red holiday ties tonight.
Yes, and we'll wear red on Sunday like the fans. We're going to want a sea of red to beat Los Angeles on Sunday here in Miami.
Vince Carter, 7 points for the Nets. Now, first things first, that's take care of New Jersey tonight if you're Miami. Jay Will driving back and flipping it right into the hands of Jason Kidd. 3-on-1 break Nets, and that is how they have feasted in their 4-game winning streak. Richard Jefferson's first points of this one.
Very good perimeter players, Eric. They get out and run just like the Heat. They can finish well. Jefferson, he gets out in that open court. Very difficult to guard.
Puts a premium for the Heat on taking care of the ball tonight. Heat swinging it. Walker crossing over on Robinson. Drives in and hits. A very handsome change of direction for Antoine Walker.
What you love to see is when the Heat swung the ball twice from one side to the other, then back again. You get the defense moving, and then you can take your man off the dribble as Walker just did.
7-point Heat lead, 3:07 remaining in the first here in Miami. Carter picking up his dribble, dumping it into the corner for Jefferson. Look out. Missed on the reverse jam. Wade knocking it right to James Posey. Here comes Miami. Walker to the lane. Flipped it up short. Got fouled on the putback. He'll get 2 free throws.
Good active bodies at both ends of the floor by the Miami Heat, both on defense and then getting out in transition.
Jason Kidd just picked up his 2nd foul.
And we're back. The Antoine Walker show off the bench. One of the reasons why the Heat's bench has been averaging so many points off the bench. Doing a good job. One of the league leaders, getting up there anyway. Walker's finishing well. He's going to go to the foul line when we come back, and you see his numbers in the last 5 games.
And in those 5 straight games, he'd have had 30 points or more off the bench, an average of 35, and a season-high 45 bench points against Atlanta on Tuesday. Obviously, Antoine Walker, Gary Payton, and Alonzo Mourning featured prominently on that Heat bench. And earlier today, Pat Riley spoke about Antoine Walker's role off his bench.
Oh, he does so many things. You know, he can play the 3 spot. He can shoot the 3, can post up. We have him bring the ball up against pressure. I mean, when teams begin to do things that are unconventional, you know, trying to take us out of our offense by pressuring or trapping the guards or whatever it is, then, you know, there aren't many big guys in this league that can play him off the dribble coming up the court. So he relieves, you know, the pressure on, you know, on Dwayne, on Gary, on Jay Will. Even though we don't have to worry about Jay Will, he can beat pretty much anybody in any pressure. But he just does a lot of things for us.
And that's why Pat Riley traded for Antoine Walker. Walker, the 10-year veteran out of Kentucky, making both his free throws. He had a good game first time these clubs met with 18 points in a starter's role. Walker's come off the bench, already has 3 points and 4 rebounds tonight. Actually 4 points for Walker, and the Heat are up 21-12. Second 9-point lead of the first as Robinson launches and misses, and Kristich knocked it out of bounds.
Good rotation defense by the Heat. They are contesting all jump shots. They're trying to crowd New Jersey's perimeter players when they come off screens. Try not to let them penetrate into the paint.
So while Alonzo Mourning is in for Miami, Lawrence Frank has just made 2 changes. Jason Kidd with 2 fouls, and Cliff Robinson with no points leave the lineup. Checking in Scott Padgett and Jacques Vaughn. Pick and roll, Mourning attacks. Mourning gets the rebound and puts it in with the foul.
Offensive foul on Alonzo Mourning. The ref's going to say Derek Stafford that he fended off with the left arm.
So no basket, instead of foul on Mourning. Here's another look.
Yep, he got that left elbow in the opponent's face. Here it is again.
Wow.
Yes, that's the angle that the referee had, and you see why he made that call.
Kristich out for the Nets. Mark Jackson comes in, the big man out of Temple, who has played with a bunch of teams, most recently Philadelphia. Jackson bullets in for Padgett, through his hands and out of bounds. Tony, Jacques Vaughn and Scott Padgett have recently moved into the rotation for the Nets. One of the guys that has seen his playing time drop dramatically, Jeff McInnis, the free agent who was brought here after spending the last 1.5 years with Cleveland. Wade with a gorgeous drive, using the reverse layup to finish.
He usually finds his way to the rim through a sea of blue shirts. He just avoids all of them with the reverse.
An 11-point Miami lead, their largest so far tonight. That was Wade's 4th point. Here's Vaughn. Back to Jefferson. Heat defense has been very stingy early. Posey with a steal. Took it right away from Jefferson. Nets shooting just 4 out of 17 with 4 turnovers. Well, the Heat getting a good night started with defense. Walker against Padgett. Nice crossover. Mourning could not time the tip in, and Richard Jefferson on the jog, advancing into the front court. Jefferson drives in, leans on Mourning, who forces up the miss. Mark Jackson has a loose ball rebound. Mourning with a block. And here comes Wade with Payton at his side. Gary trying to lob it in for Dwayne, who misses off the backboard. But let's see which way this will go. A blocking foul on Jacques Vaughn. And that puts the Nets over the limit.
You can see the Heat's aggressiveness at the defensive end, and it's fueling their offense. White Soul come out from under the rim, blocks that shot of Mark Jackson, and now you got Wade pushing it up. Payton kind of reads this a little more than he should here with the lead pass, but Wade corrals it, draws the foul on Jacques Vaughn, so he's going to the foul line.
By the way, you said Mark Jackson of the Nets. That's the 6'10" backup center out of Temple. The Nets traveling party includes another Mark Jackson as well.
Yeah, Bishop Loughlin in Brooklyn, out of St. John's, played in the NBA for many years, and he's an answer to a trivia question, Eric. Who is the leading assist man of all time in the NBA? Everyone knows it's John Stockton, but who's second? That man right there, Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson had a terrific collegiate career at St. John's. We both enjoyed him there and enjoy his work currently on the Yes Network, working opposite Marv Albert doing the net telecast.
He's sandwiched in between John Stockton and Magic Johnson. 1, 2, and 3 all time for assists. We talked to him before the game. He's really enjoying working with Marv and doing the Nets games. He likes the action. And you know, he was a point guard, so he's kind of like a coach on the floor, and now he's a coach at the you know, with the headsets on.
Made sure to ask Mark Jackson how Louis Carnesecca was doing, his great coach at St. John's. He said the coach is just fine. Scott Padgett on the miss. Mark Jackson knocked it out of bounds. By the way, another former St. John's University coach in the Heat's house tonight. Former head coach at Cambridge, Ringen Latin, and the St. John's Red Storm, as well as several other spots. Mike Jarvis sitting courtside. We had a chance to visit with him as well, Tony.
He only had Pat Ewing and Ramil Robinson at Ringen Latin, and then he went on to coach at George Washington and then St. John's.
Dwayne Wade going behind his back, flipping it over to Walker. 3 will count, but it rimmed out. And that ends the first quarter. Now the Nets go 4 of 20 from the field. That's 20%. Meanwhile, Shaquille O'Neal, 9 points, 5 rebounds. The Heat have doubled New Jersey after 1 quarter.
And we're back. Heat up 12 as we head to the second quarter. Jason Jackson courtside. Easy for me to say my own name. But talk to you a little bit about the ambidextrous nature of Shaquille O'Neal. In the Hawks game earlier this week on Tuesday, we saw Shaq working it nicely with the left on the putback, and he had to stare at it, just break it down. One of the many wonderful post-dunk celebrations. And Shaq has a reason why we have to rewind and go back to a school day version of Shaq to understand why he actually is a left-hander.
Actually, I was born left-handed, but I was putting some stuff on a little school thing and a thumbtack, messed my thumb up, and I couldn't use my left, so I had to go to the right.
One of Shaq's tall tales, of course, and we continue with the post-dunk celebrations and take you back to our road trip, and Shaquille was kind enough to provide us with his strut. It's kind of moved from the old Merton Hanks neck shake into just kind of a shake after throwing down on the road against the Bulls. The don't touch me, I think that's what we first called it, but now he's calling it the gorilla walk, and for short, just the G-walk for the daddy. So we're hoping that we'll get something special tonight for the holidays, maybe a Shaka Claus throwdown deliciousness with a little balls of holly on the side, Eric.
Sounds good to me, Jason.
Was that true, that with the thumbtack in the right hand? I mean, the left hand was?
I don't think so.
I don't know, man. You never know with Shaq.
Tony, let's talk defense. Let's get to the real. The Heat holding the Atlanta Hawks on Tuesday night to 9 points in the first quarter on 4 for 21 shooting. They hold the Nets to 12 points in the first quarter on 4 for 20. So the last two opponents 8 for 41 in the first quarter against the Heat.
And the Nets missed the last 11 out of 12 shots as the Heat come out in a zone defense, the 2-3 matchup zone.
Miami leading it by 14. The three goes for Lamont Murray. Lamont Murray, Jason Kidd's former teammate at California. Murray, a guy that was buried on the Nets bench earlier this year, but he's coming off an 11-point game in 27 minutes at Orlando on Tuesday night.
36% career three-point shooter, so Lawrence Frank put him in to go against the zone.
Last 3 years, Murray with the Toronto Raptors as Mark Jackson misses on the turnaround jumper. Jason Capono down with a Heat rebound. Miami up 11 points. Gary Payton exchanging the pass with Antoine Walker. Paget on Walker. Vaughn on Payton. Wade fires and buries it over Jefferson.
You got to love the way Dwayne Wade got the ball out in front of him to get over that screen and then buried the J.
9 points for Dwayne Wade here in the first half. Wade also with 3 assists. Shaquille O'Neal, Heat's leading scorer, 9 points to go with 5 first quarter rebounds. Nets are led by Vince Carter, 7 points. Here's Jefferson from the wing. Banging off the iron, and Jason Capono, who's in there for his shooting, but he's helping his cause with his rebounding recently. Payton drives all the way in. Pretty move by Gary Payton.
Payton now had to adjust his thinking. He started the last 7 games. Now he's got to come off the bench again. And boy, that guy's, how mentally tough is he playing all those minutes? Now he's adjusting again, and he's doing just what Jay Will does. He's attacking the rim, drawing the foul.
Pat Riley allowing his guards to play on instinct off missed shots. Something Stan Van Gundy was also fond of doing, especially when you have the talents of Wade, Williams, and Payton in your backcourt. Miami up by 15, playing very well here in the first half at home. And the coach, Tony Fiorentino, what man among us couldn't use another day at a nearby shopping mall?
Don't forget, tomorrow night you got to put out the cookies and milk for Santa Claus.
Yeah, I did that one year, and Santa told me he didn't want warm milk.
Well, I don't know about
He thought the milk might be, but you know, actually the czar gave me that tip, said, do not leave warm milk for Santa. It could work out in the long run against you.
Well, you know what I put out, Eric? I put out some calamari. That's why he keeps coming back.
Might have a harder time getting out the chimney. We welcome you back here on Sun Sports. The Heat leading at 30-15. Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal each have 9 points for Miami. The Heat on a 13-3 run here. They already have scored 16 points in the paint in this first half. Jason Williams back in the game for the Heat as Mark Jackson fires up the jumper and nails it. Jackson averaging 5 points per game off a Nets bench that could use a little bit of an upgrade, Tony. The free agents they have imported in have underachieved to this point.
Well, they need more bulk inside, probably. If there's one area that you'd like to see them, if you're a Net fan, improve on.
Morning's turnaround over Shot. Paget down with a rebound. Third rebound for Paget as Jacques Vaughn changes ends. Jacques Vaughn moving in front of Jeff McInnis. This is the third guard off New Jersey's bench. And Paget triples. Scott Paget, who spent his first 4 years with Utah, his last 2 with Houston. And he was on Kentucky's 1998 national championship team his junior season in the Bluegrass State.
Yeah, that man can shoot threes. Averaged 39% in his career shooting the NBA three.
Walker spins out of trouble and missed on the flip. And here comes New Jersey with Vaughn in the middle. Paget's pass deflected out by Kapono. That got a piece of his thumb on his left hand. The non-shooting hand of Jason Kapono. Shaquille O'Neal's back in. Alonzo Mourning goes to the bench. 7 scoreless minutes with a couple of rebounds from Mourning.
And Jason Kapono has gone back to leading the NBA in his three-point field goal percentage at 51%.
I know that's one of your favorite numbers. Kapono 18 of 35 beyond the three-point arc this year. 10-point Heat lead as you take a look at your GMC stats pack. Murray had it go off his knee. Jason Williams, the recipient of the Nets' 5th turnover. Here's Kapono from downtown. And the rebound taken by Mark Jackson. Heat 0 for 4 behind the three-point arc tonight. 8:23 remaining in the second quarter. Carter swings it to Mark Jackson. Kapono defending the bigger Jackson, and Kapono commits his second foul.
Now in that rotation, Kapono wound up rotating to Jackson, and that's a big matchup, mismatch for the Heat.
And James Posey comes back into the game for Miami. Kapono sits down. Jason Kapono getting 2 rebounds and 2 fouls in 5 minutes. Posey's back. He had 3 first quarter rebounds and has yet to score. And now Haslem hopping back onto the court. Udonis picked up 2 fouls in the first 5 minutes of the ball game. And he will sit down Antoine Walker. And that's something. You go 27 games into a season, and Miami for the first time is whole. Every player Pat Riley could use, he is able to tonight. Paget on the run. Payton on the rebound. Here comes Miami, up 10. Jason Williams from 3, in and out. In transition, a quick shot by Williams.
Gary Payton has been on Carter now since that backcourt with a good job by Posey drawing that charge. But I started to say with Jay Will and Payton in the backcourt, Payton is guarding Carter. And watch Posey as he gets good position on the spin move. Perfect job drawing the charge.
Pat Riley said earlier tonight that Posey is still learning the Heat's defensive system, but not bad. He just drew his team-leading 10th offensive foul of the season. Heat have always been proud of their defense at the small forward spot. That goes back over a long number of years.
Pat Riley had a very good explanation about Posey. Posey told him that in the other teams that he's played on, he's had more freedom to roam around, play good D. But in this system, it's more organized. There's a system that he has to get into, and once he gets used to that system, he will get better and better as a defensive stopper.
I don't think there's a defensive system on the planet Earth that can stop that man. Not unless you're playing defense with a pocket full of kryptonite.
He's so strong. He's got so many skills inside that you don't know which way he's going to go. He's getting such deep position. Now here he's outside the lane, but he's so strong, he just backs you down, and then he draws the foul there.
Mark Jackson picking up his second foul. Mark Jackson working next to Marv Albert tonight is in a lot safer spot than the Mark Jackson who's guarding Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, this Mark Jackson on the court said he'd like to play against Shaquille O'Neal every night of every 82 games. I'm not sure what he meant by that.
12-point lead for Miami as Paget fires a triple, and O'Neal comes down with his 6th rebound. That was a dart-like outlet pass to Jason Williams. 7:15 left in the second quarter. The Nets have missed 20 of their 27 shots. Shaq and Paget clearing out Haslem with a free arm. His rebound, 5th of the night for Paget. Jason Kidd just 2 points so far in this game with 1 assist. And we get a whistle away from the ball. Derek Stafford stops play. And the foul is whistled against Gary Payton, first of the night for the Heat's backup guard. In the 9 starts for Payton this year, the Heat a winner in 6 of them. Heat are definitely too deep at point guard. At least 3 on the shot clock. Carter's game and his shot as well. First field goal of the second quarter. 9 points for the longtime member, the Toronto Raptors. Of course, Carter came over in the trade last year, played 57 games with the Nets, average almost 28 points a game. Shaq. He's going right back to the free throw line, feasting underneath the offensive glass tonight. He already has 11 points and 7 rebounds. Lamont Murray walking away with his second foul, 4th on the Nets here in the quarter. And we invite high school football fans to tune in to Sun Sports this weekend. All the action of the Dodge High School Football Finals. Coverage begins at 9:30 Saturday morning and continues Sunday beginning at 12 noon right here on Sun Sports. Some of the best high school football played here in the Sunshine State.
I'm sure you enjoy watching that. No doubt, being a football fan.
O'Neal missing both. He'd have missed on their last 4 free throws. They're 8 of 13 at the stripe so far, leading New Jersey by 10. Despite the Nets missing 20 of their 28 shots, still within 10 halfway through this second quarter. Another packed Heat's house tonight. Carter playing it off glass. O'Neal surrounded by Nets, able to grab his 8th rebound and absorb another New Jersey foul.
That's what you call rebounding in traffic right there. He went above everybody, grabbed it with 2 hands. I think young fans, young players, you should notice that when you go for a rebound, grab it with 2 hands. You jump just as high with 2 as you do with 1. Watch as Shaquille O'Neal goes up. As big and as strong as he is, he needs both hands on this ball. Look at it, sandwiched between 2 New Jersey Nets. He needed to grab that with 2 hands, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to corral it and draw the foul.
Good coaching point, and that was a foul I'm sure Vince Carter would like to have back. You know, you only get 6. On the 6th, you're out, and Vince Carter just putting a hand up in there. He wasn't really involved with the play at all. Not the way you want to walk away with a foul.
And the Heat are in the bonus. There's 6 minutes left in the second quarter.
Well, tonight the 7th game back in the lineup for Shaquille O'Neal, and my oh my if things look better with him back in the center of that Heat spotlight. O'Neal has missed 4 of his 5 free throws in this game. They get 5 of 6. The daddy with 11 points and 8 rebounds. Heat still lead by 10 despite missing their last 6 free throw attempts. Here comes Carter on the drive, flips it up and off. Kristich knocks it out of bounds. Good help defense by Shaquille O'Neal.
And a good job by Haslam forcing that New Jersey net player to hit the ball out of bounds. The Heat ball when we come back.
Tarantino, I'm Eric Reed. We hope it's a great time of the year for Heat fans everywhere with your friends, your family, and your favorite hoop team. I tried to get some Christmas shopping done the other day. I could not get through the Town Center Mall in Boca Raton, running into all your fans, Coach.
So you bought gift certificates, right? You bailed out.
Almost everywhere I went.
That's it.
Even Home Depot. That's how desperate we have gotten. And we welcome you back to the American Airlines Arena, where the Heat are up 10. 5:28 left in the first half. Wade missing on the pull-up. This game sort of on pause now for Miami. Jefferson drives in, draws the foul. Now, the Nets have had trouble making shots all night. They're 8 of 30 for 27%. And after the Heat jumped out to that 15-point lead, all of a sudden they've cooled down. Miami missing free throws in the quarter and also shooting just 38% from the field in this first half. Jason Williams picking up the Heat's last foul.
Yeah, the Heat missing those many shots this quarter is keeping New Jersey in this game.
Richard Jefferson, a 20-point game with 15 rebounds when these clubs last met in early November. Jefferson only 1 game this year not in double figures. He brings in a 19-game double-figure scoring streak. Jefferson with just 3 points in this one on 1 of 5 from the field. Well, the Heat have missed 7 of their last 8 from the field, and the Nets on an 8-2 run to get back within 9. Robinson defending O'Neal. He bangs, he turns, and he flips out, and the shot clock expires.
Shaq lost track of the shot clock there. He would have shot it if he had looked down the other end like he normally does. That happens once in a while.
Miami was leading by 15 just 2 minutes into the second quarter. The Nets have responded with an 8-2 run. So now the Heat lead is 9 as Carter takes aim, drills it. Vince Carter, 11 points tonight. In their 4 straight wins, he has averaged nearly 32 points a game. So it is a 10-2 Nets run now. Haslam's baseline pop is good.
Good assist to D. Wade, draws a defender, hits Udonis. He buries it, Wade's 4th assist of the game.
Haslam 2 of 2 from the field for his 4 points. 4:20 remaining in the first half. Low scoring half as Kristich gets the feed from Carter and missed. Haslam holds on to the rebound and hits ahead for Wade. Changes gears, runs right over Jason Kidd, and it's a block on Kidd. Well, you know you've arrived when you get the benefit of the doubt on a call that goes against another fellow All-Star in Jason Kidd, and that's the 3rd foul on New Jersey's point guard.
Kidd is also known as a very good defender, so you know that Wade drew that foul.
Well, Heat fans, here is your chance to get the shirts right off the back of Heat All-Stars Shaquille O'Neal and Dwayne Wade. You could bid now up until Christmas Day on Shaq and Wade's game jerseys from the Heat's game against the Lakers Christmas Day. Winning bidders will receive the authentic game-worn jerseys autographed by Shaq and Wade, accompanied by a certificate of authenticity. Don't miss out on this great auction. Bidding ends Christmas Day at 11 Eastern Time. 11 p.m. Eastern Time. All proceeds will benefit the Heat Charitable Fund. Visit Heat.com right now and make sure to get your bid in.
What a Christmas gift that would be. Wow.
Meanwhile, Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal both have 11 points for Miami, and the Heat lead happens to be 11 points as well. Just under 4 minutes left in the first half. Hope you're enjoying life and the ball game with us. 3 on the shot clock. Kristich in a heap of trouble. And the Heat will get it back off another shot clock violation on the Nets. The Heat defense continues to frustrate New Jersey.
That time the Heat did not allow the Nets to swing the ball to the other side where they had open players. They just crowded the offensive team, and Shaq coming over helped force that 24-second clock.
Wade on the drive. Hands it off. Shaq puts it home. That is teamwork.
D. Wade can hang in the air and look at his options, whether he wants to put it up, which teammate he wants to hit. That's the advantage of being able to hang in the air so long.
6 straight points for Miami. 5th assist for Wade. Shaquille O'Neal now has 13 points. Here's Carter. Wing jump shot in and out. And the rebound swarmed to by James Posey. This is Williams right down the middle, and the pass for Posey sent James into the seats. Scott Padgett back in for the Nets. Kristich will sit down. For Miami, Gary Payton is back into the game, and Jason Williams goes to the bench. Williams tonight has played 17 minutes already, has 4 points and a rebound.
The Heat's doing a terrific job tonight. They're big, stepping out against pick and rolls, forcing the dribbler to go in a different direction than toward the rim.
Heat held the Nets to 12 points in the first quarter. Under 3 minutes left here in the second as Jefferson leans into Posey. And this time the foul will go against James Posey, his first of the game. Now Shaq has 13. The Heat lead by 13.
This quarter in the paint after allowing 6 the first quarter.
Jason Kidd, number 8 on the NBA's all-time assist list. Recently passed Mo Cheeks. He's 4th in assists per game. Here's Jefferson trying to dunk on Mourning, and he missed it.
That's twice Jefferson missed on a dunk on Mourning.
Padgett missing from downtown. James Posey with a rebound. So 1 miss from downtown, 1 miss from point-blank range, and the Nets are now shooting 25%. They've hit on only 9 of their 36 first-half attempts from the field.
James Posey hasn't scored tonight, but he's playing good D, and he's got 5 rebounds.
Jefferson just 1 of 6. Wade got pushed by Jefferson. So Richard Jefferson picks up his first foul. Dwayne Wade will go to the free throw line for attempts 7 and 8 here in the first half.
And out of the timeout, Pat Riley goes to posting up Dwayne Wade, and he gets the draws the foul.
Wade averaging just under 29 points a game in the month of December. He's the number 5 scorer in the league, also 5th in the league in steals, 2nd to Allen Iverson in free throws made and attempted. And Dwayne Wade, over his last 4.5 games, has now made, including that free throw, 41 of his last 48 foul shots. 85% in the clip. That's about 7% better than he has shot for the season.
Yes, he's a good foul shooter. He keeps increasing that percentage. As you mentioned, he's shooting 78% for the year, 76% his first 2 years in the league.
Yeah, with all the frequent free throwing, he's in a better foul shooter's rhythm. Miami scored the last 8 points after the Nets had gone on the 10-2 run. The Heat have equaled their biggest lead of the game at 15. Mourning went shot block hunting, but Carter able to find the bottom of the well.
Carter expected Mourning to come over there, so he shot a rainbow shot that buried it, into the net.
Vince Carter now with 13 points to lead New Jersey. Wade and O'Neal have 13 for Miami. Wade threw his legs into the paint, but not out of the woods. He missed twice from in the lane. Kidd comes down, finds Padgett. Now Kidd, a corner three. Got it. Jason Kidd, his 42nd triple this season, only his 2nd score tonight. So Kidd with 5, and the Heat lead is back to 10. Minute 23 remaining, first half. Another exciting installment of the Dodge halftime report ahead. Hopefully we'll get a preview for you from Jason Jackson. Here's Walker into the lane, turns for the hook, it rolls off. And Cliff Robinson down with a Nets rebound. He's shooting just 38% in the half. Kidd all the way in. Beautiful 7 in the game for Kidd, 5 in a row.
Beautiful move by Kidd, changing direction, changing hands in transition, and as you mentioned, he scored the last 5 points for the Nets.
And the Nets have put together a 7-0 run. The Heat lead is down to 8. And with our Steak and Shake 20-second timeout, we do get our Dodge halftime report preview from Jason Jackson.
Coming up at the break, Eric and Tony, we will have stats, highlights, and of course the assistant coach interview. But more important, it's the holiday classic, how the Windermen saved Christmas. We go around the rim with our good friend Ira. Coming up on the Dodge halftime report.
All right, thank you very much, Jason. Ira Winderman, the premier NBA beat writer for the South Florida Sun Sentinel.
We talked about New Jersey in transition, off misses, turnovers. Watch Kidd fake going to the middle, change his direction, change his hands. You don't want that man to get out into the open court. He's like D. Wade going to the rim.
Well, through his career, he's averaged over 9 assists a game, 4th all-time in assists per game behind only Magic Johnson, John Stockton, and the Big O, Oscar Robertson. Well, 20,000 of some of our best friends filling the American Airlines Arena again. Miami 9-3 on the home court, tied with Indiana for the 3rd best home record in the East. Behind only Detroit and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Payton for 3. Wade on the rebound, bats it out of bounds. And that possession was saved by official Derek Stafford because the cross-court pass ricocheted off Stafford and stayed in bounds.
Yes, and if Stafford was out of bounds, that would have been off Posey, but he was in bounds, and he got retained possession. Now there was a technical foul
on Dwayne Wade. Now that'll send Vince Carter to the free throw stripe with his 13 points. Carter 3 of 3 at the line tonight.
Eric, one stat that the Heat coaching staff is going to be happy with at halftime. The starting front court for the Nets have made 1 out of 13 field goals tonight, scored only 4 points.
And that was the 4th technical foul this year issued to Dwayne Wade. It is good to have Steve LeBeau, our statistician of some 18 years, back in the sleigh with us. Oh, Mourning with a block shot. Jefferson trying to go in for a dunk. Wade back to zone. Miami leads by 7. Alonzo Mourning with his 2nd rejection of the night.
Jefferson missed 2 dunks trying to go over Zoe, and then Zoe blocked that shot.
Wade trying to get it inside to Mourning was fouled. Well, Alonzo Mourning sending his share of pink slips out in the form of rejected shots.
The #1 shot blocker in the NBA. He's probably also #1 on that intangible statistic about changing shots. And then what usually happens on an Alonzo Mourning block, the Heat usually retain possession, get possession, and then push it up the floor.
Mourning averaging 3.5 block shots a game. Tonight already his 7th game in a row with multiple blocks. It's incredible what he's doing. First in blocks, second in field goal percentage. 10 points, 8 rebounds, and the 3.5 blocks a game.
Former Defensive Player of the Year in '99 and 2000. Won the gold medal in Australia in the year 2000. Great career for Alonzo Mourning and coming back from that kidney disease.
And a career that included a 30-game, 2-year stint with New Jersey, and that would encompass the 14 games he started for the Nets last year. He was part of the deal sent to Toronto in the trade that brought Vince Carter to the Meadowlands. So Pat Riley using his 22nd timeout with his team up by 8. Including last year's first-round playoff series, the Heat have defeated the Nets 10 straight times. 6 in a row in the regular season, then the very first 4-game playoff sweep in Heat history. They would go on to another against the Washington Wizards. But Tony, the Heat's offense was alive in the playoffs last year against the Nets. Average 109.5 points on 52% shooting. 3 of the 4 wins in that first round series by double figures, and a double overtime Game 3 victory in New Jersey, all but turning out the lights on the Nets postseason.
What an unbelievable game that was. The Heat winning games 3 and 4 in the Meadowlands.
Jason Kidd on the prowl. Uses the Cliff Robinson screen to get free. Finds Jefferson for the triple. As well set up as one can get. Jefferson with the 3-point field goal. And that ends the first half. 6 points for Richard Jefferson. Miami holds the Nets to 36 points on 32% first half shooting. Of 5, 41-36. The Heat going with Shaquille O'Neal, James Posey, and Udonis Haslem up front. Dwayne Wade and Jason Williams in the backcourt. For the Nets, it's Carter, Jefferson, Cliff Robinson, Nenad Krstić, and Jason Kidd. Heat shot 37% in the first half. The Nets shot 32%. Vince Carter leading New Jersey with 14 points. Dwayne Wade at 14 for Miami, and Shaq at 13 points with 8 rebounds. The Nets did get 10 fast break points in the first half. The Heat had 20 points in the paint in the first 2 quarters. Miami twice had leads of 15. Posey hits a 3. And that's the first points tonight for James Posey.
Inside out play by the Heat. Get it into Shaq, post up, and then spread out and spot up. That time Posey buried it.
That's the Heat's first triple in their 7th try. Jason Kidd comes right back and answers with his second 3. So 10 points for Kidd. James Posey a moment ago tripled for the first time tonight, and that extends his 3-point streak to a 14th consecutive game. Let's go back to the first half and take a look at the Dodge shot chart for the front court of the Nets. Missing 13 of their 15 shots.
And they survived all those misses by only being down 5 at halftime.
Krstić was 0 for 6. Jefferson 2 of 8. Cliff Robinson 0 for 1. And Robinson with the unenviable task of defending Shaquille O'Neal. Cliff Robinson starting the game tonight for the injured Jason Collins. He's out with a sprained right ankle. Here's Jefferson, right side 3. Rims off to Udonis Haslem. 5th rebound for Haslem. Here's Wade coming right at Carter. And it's a jump ball between Cliff Robinson and Dwayne Wade.
That is Wade at 6'4", trying to go up on Cliff Robinson, who's 6'10". Let's see this jump ball here. Now the Heat will do is guard the backcourt, not to allow New Jersey to get a run out here. So you should see 3 white shirts behind D-Wade. There you see it. Udonis, Posey, and Williams. And if they don't get the tap, Miami, at least they won't get they won't let New Jersey score an easy basket.
Now the Nets do win the tip, and they go to work down by 5 points. Last time the Heat were up 15, 2:15 were left in the second quarter. It was 40-25. Nice pass by Carter. Haslem with a block on a Kristich. Attempted a dunk.
Well, an unusual block by Udonis Haslem.
Jason Williams driving in, trying to duck in. Here's Haslem from 15. Kaboom!
And he gets it at the other end. Wow.
Now, it hasn't been the greatest of stretches for Udonis Haslem, but that sequence, well, Udonis on display. A block shot followed by a bucket.
Well, you never really know what his value is, Eric, how good it is, because he does a lot of intangible things you don't find in the box score.
Things he does, you do find in the box score. Vince Carter now with 16 points. Carter had 32 when these clubs met in early November. A 1-point Heat victory right here. O'Neal, low right, drives in, blocked by Kristich. And Shaquille was fouled as he gathered himself for a putback try.
We talked about the terrific block by Udonis Haslem. We used to seeing either Shaq, Mourning, or Wade with this. Watch this, perfect timing, good job, and then it leads to the jump shot where they're defending down low. New Jersey is, and we've noticed that. You know, we've seen that now in his third year doing that, hitting that J from the top of the key.
Haslem steps in and missed that one. He put it up softly, but Jason Kidd came down with a rebound.
Yeah, I thought he was going to make that. It was right on cue right there.
Well, Kidd put that lob up in the sky. Wade and Carter both leaping for it. And let's see which way the call goes. It will be on Dwayne Wade. And that is the first foul of the night on Dwayne Wade.
I mentioned what a rare occasion it is for Udonis to block shots. It's only his 5th block shot of the season. But a big one.
Yeah, taking a page out of Alonzo Mourning's shot blocking book. Sending back a dunk. Wade right with Carter there. Carter on the back down. Hit the side of the board. Then try to take on O'Neal and fail. And Kristich all over the back of James Posey.
Eric, I think D. Wade blocked that shot by Carter. He didn't just hit the side of the backboard. I think D. Wade got a piece of it. Good job by the Heat to stay down low on the baseline defense, stay with the play, and eventually do the charge over the top, the foul over the top.
Second foul on Kristich, who has had a miserable night offensively. Just 1 point for the starting center for the Nets, and he's missed all 7 of his shots from the field. And on the year, he shoots 48%. Good defense by Kidd, but the loose ball picked up by the Heat. 5 on the shot clock. Wade missing on the 3, and Kristich down with his 6th rebound. Well, the Heat offense is bogged down a bit. Jefferson pitching back for Carter. Jason Kidd with 10 points tonight, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, draws 2 defenders, and plenty of rim. O'Neal down with his 10th rebound of the game.
Terrific defense by Jay Will at the other end. Whoa!
Wade with his first dunk of the game. Number 53 on the year. A pretty setup by Jason Williams.
Jason Williams defended Jason Kidd at the other end. Wouldn't give ground, forced a bad shot, and then a perfect pass to Wade on the lob.
A Heat game without a Dwayne Wade dunk just ain't right.
You're not allowed to have one, are you?
7-point Heat lead. Wade and Vince Carter each with 16 points. 4 minutes in, third quarter. Haslem right there with Kristich. Shot clock at 4. Kristich to the paint for the hook, and he finally gets one to drop on his 8th field goal attempt.
Good move by Kristich. Udonis is not easy to move out of his area there, and Kristich did it.
Here's Shaq. Quick move off glass. First points of the second half for the Diesel. He's got 15 points and 10 rebounds. His 4th double-double of the year.
Clifford Robinson has only given up about 90 pounds to Shaq. He's 240. Shaq is 330.
Miami up 7. 7.5 left in the third. Here's Cliff Robinson. Baseline 3. Bury it.
That's what he's made a career on.
Yeah, Cliff Robinson's first points of the game. He is the number 39 scorer in NBA history, now just 52 points away from number 38, which would be Dale Ellis.
36% foul shooter for a 16 years plus career.
Shaq passing out of the double team. Posey for 3. Ricochets off and taken down by Cliff Robinson. The Nets are within 4. Nice pass. Carter with a hammer dunk off a great one bounce from Kidd.
Carter does what Wade does. He goes up, and then when someone tries to get in his way, he just hangs in the air and goes up another couple of steps and throws it down. One of the great dunkers in the NBA, Vince Carter.
Well, the Nets are closest they have been since the score was 4-2. A lot of good hoops still left.
The jam right before the timeout. You want to freeze it right there. You'll see Vince Carter's right here, and watch as he comes this way, okay? And then you're going to see Kidd make that pass right there. Carter just runs behind all the Heat players. It bursts of speed, and Kidd finds him. It's too late. Once he catches the ball in there and gets up in the air, it's like Wade. Once they get to the launching pad, forget about it.
Vince Carter, the number 8 scorer in the NBA last year when he averaged 24.5 points a game. This year, he is the number 12 scorer in the NBA. He's been over 30 in 3 of his last 4. He's got 18 tonight. Now, the Heat were leading late in the first half, 40-25. But since that time, Tony, the Nets have gone on a 23-10 run. What's changed?
Well, Ron Rothstein talked about it right there, that transition defense. The Heat has to do a better job. They had 4 guys running back, but Carter beat them. So they got to go back with a little more zealousness in trying to stop those transition baskets. That's one of the things. And then offensively, Coach Rothstein also mentioned in that second quarter that the Heat went to the foul line, missed a ton of shots, which puts the momentum back on New Jersey's side. When you miss free throws, Eric, you work so hard to get to the line. When you miss them, you'll kind of exhale, and then the other team gains momentum.
Cliff Robinson picking up the last New Jersey foul. The Diesel hitting on the front end.
He hurt us.
Shaquille O'Neal tonight, 16 points, 10 rebounds. So in his 7 games back, he already has 4 double-doubles. And that's a nice little double-double at the stripe. The Diesel, 3 of 8 from the line, 17 points, 10 rebounds now. Cliff Robinson exchanging with Vince Carter. Wade still on Carter, who slips past him and hits on the runner over the top of O'Neal.
Now, how high you got to get that over Shaq. Vince Carter can do it, obviously.
20 points for Carter. Wade streaking in, missed it, but got bumped and fouled. And the whistle will go against Cliff Robinson from behind. You know, Robinson at age 39 signed a 2-year contract with the Nets, but next year is their option.
See, Carter gets inside. Once he gets to that launching pad, gets up in the air, very difficult to stop him once he accelerates. Look how high he has to get up over Shaq. And it's reminiscent of what Dwayne Wade does when he goes to the basket.
Vince Carter, the 6-time NBA All-Star. 6 straight years over 20 points per game, a career average right at 24. Carter in his 8th year out of North Carolina. Career average of just about 20 field goal attempts a game. This year a little bit under that at 18 shot attempts nightly. And Cliff Robinson goes to the Nets bench. Did you realize, Tony, and I know, Coach, you did, we had a little trivia question about Cliff a few games ago. He is the 3rd leading active scorer in the NBA today. The other 2 sitting in Heat clothes tonight. Shaquille O'Neal and Gary Payton ranking 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's
Dwayne Wade now with 17 points.
And the Heat come back in a 2-3 zone. Off the made free throw.
Here comes Carter. The hook over O'Neal drops home. And when he gets in this kind of zone, look out. He's got 8 of his 22 here in the 3rd quarter. And now it's just a 1-point Heat lead. Carter has New Jersey's last 6.
We mentioned at the beginning that the 4-game winning streak by New Jersey is done on the coattails of Vince Carter. And you see why.
Well, earlier in the year, he was deferring a little bit, maybe to Richard Jefferson some. Remember, those 2 didn't play an awful lot together until the playoffs last year. But I think those things have a way of working themselves out as the season goes along. And for the Nets to be successful, Vince has to be aggressive. El Bacardi once again bringing you the Heat experience, which includes the next road rally of the season, Thursday, December 29th. at Gatsby's in Kendall. You can join Bernie, the Heat Dancers, the Extreme Team, public address announcer Michael Biamane, and a cast of others. They'll be watching the Heat and Pistons in their first meeting since last season's Eastern Conference Finals. Game begins at 8 from the Palace in Auburn Hills. So come on down to Gatsby's in Kendall, enjoy the Heat on Sun Sports, and be a part of the Bacardi Road Rally experience.
The Heat come back in the zone again, 2-3 zone. Gary Payton has been inserted for Dwayne Wade.
And here's Carter, gives the Nets the lead. And is that their first lead tonight? Yes, it is. They take it on the Carter jumper. It's 55-53 New Jersey. Carter now with 25. Carter has 11 points in the third quarter. O'Neal misses from close, and we get a rebounding foul underneath on Miami.
Should be on
and
your
now momentum certainly with the Nets as Haslam takes his third foul away from that skirmish.
Let's see what defense the Heat comes back in here. They've been playing the zone the last 2 times. Looks like it's going to be a man-to-man. You got Gary Payton now guarding Vince Carter.
Now Vince Carter's triple a moment ago put the Nets up by 2. Carter now with 25 points. Kidd behind his back nicely, and Kristich missed. O'Neal outletting his 11th rebound. He's got to rediscover their rhythm down on the offensive end. The Nets lead by 2 after trailing twice in the first half by 15. Shot clock at 7. Posey on the cut. He'll circle back out. Williams for 3. Yes! Jason Williams, that was a 3 out of desperation. His 41st triple of the year, and that puts Miami back on top.
And Eric, you talked about the Heat having to score more points. They had 24 at the quarter and only 29 up until that 3 by Jay Will.
We're back and we have ourselves a game, and Vince Carter is one of the main reasons why. Being aggressive on the floor, a message he's gotten from his team over the last couple weeks or so, moving without the ball, getting it done. During the first month of the season, Vince Carter was putting stats in the book, but you couldn't remember how. A far departure from Carter's ability to make you recall each of his baskets, but the Vinsanity is back. During the Nets' 4-game win streak, Carter's been more aggressive, and the results are obvious. He's hitting around half his shots, including 50% from the three-point line, and the main message is coming from Richard Jefferson. Eric Reed alluded to it moments ago. He said, look, what we want you to do is do what you do, and that is scoring. Get out there and be the elite scorer that you are, and as teammates, we will do everything else on the floor. All we want you to do is get to the basket, throw it down, or shoot that 3 and make it. It takes a lot of pressure off when your teammates give you that type of leeway, Eric.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. You looked awful good in the box. Same thing we want Jason Jackson to do. Just do what you do.
That's what he does. He does it better than anybody else, baby. We got a good stat here from Steve LeBeau. The Nets were 0 for 5 from the three-point line in the first quarter, 7 for 10 since, from a team that's 20th in the league, shooting 34%.
Well, the Nets, since trailing by 15 late in the second quarter, they took the 2-point lead with a 30-13 run. And now they're back in the game with 4 minutes to go in this third quarter. Udonis Haslem shaking his head. He just picked up his 4th foul. That's the 3rd team foul on Miami in this quarter. And a guy they've been unable to contain in the quarter. Vince Carter's back at the line. 11 of his 25 here in the third period.
You can hear Lawrence Frank in the huddle and during the timeout probably saying, look, Vince Carter's got to touch the ball 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5, maybe 5 out of 5 times down the floor. Get him the ball, he makes things happen. And that's how the Nets took that recent lead and may take it here again with another free throw.
You know, he's made 45 of his last 48 free throws. 5 for 5 tonight. Vince Carter, an 84% foul shooter this year. So the Nets take the lead again at 57-56. The Nets are 8 of 10 at the foul line tonight. Vince Carter now with 27 points, 13 in this quarter. Nice pass by Walker. Gave Shaquille O'Neal a layup.
Good hands by Shaq. The pass was a little low, Eric. That time Walker threw it at Shaq's knees, but he has such good hands, he was able to catch and finish.
19 points, 11 rebounds for the Diesel. Heat now with 28 points in the paint. Jefferson pitch back for a Carter three. Oh my. Is he feeling it or what? His second triple of the quarter. 30 points in the game. It's the 4th time in the last 5 games he's reached the 30-point mark.
That was almost a 4-pointer.
He's got 16 points in this quarter. The Nets lead by 2. Posey for Walker. Tippy toe three. No. And the rebound controlled by the Nets. The Nets have it playing back at their tempo. Richard Jefferson finds Jackson. Steps into a left wing jumper. And right now, the Nets finding open men and finding ample opportunities. They're up by 4.
Well, as the Heat concentrate on Carter and try to stop him, it's going to open up shots for other teammates of Carter.
Biggest lead tonight for New Jersey. Jason Williams for 3. And the rebound taken by Mark Jackson. Now the Nets shooting a better percentage than Miami in this game. Kidd got all the way through the middle. An open middle on the Heat defense. A 9-2 run for New Jersey and a lead that has grown to 6. Pat Riley wants to talk things over.
Yes, he's got to talk about that transition defense that Ron Rothstein alluded to, that the Heat faltered in that second quarter and now doing it again in the third.
Now Pat Riley using his 22nd timeout. Gives us a chance to talk about who's hot and who's not, brought to you by the Gatorade Company. Cleveland Cavaliers and the New Jersey Nets both have won 4 in a row, second only in the East to the Pistons, who have 5 straight victories, all not so well for the New York Knicks, team that has dropped 18 games. They've lost 7 in a row, and the next time the Nets play, it'll be the day after Christmas when they take on the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. And Coach, did you know that the Nets have won 19 of their last 22 games against their crosstown rivals from New York?
I know it was pretty good, but not 19-3. You know, 19-3 record the last 22 games. That is phenomenal.
By the way, Philadelphia leads the Atlantic Division over the Nets by just a half game. The 76ers tonight are in Atlanta, trailing late in that game by 1, even though Allen Iverson has already scored 49 points.
And of course, when you win your division, there's 3 divisions in each conference. If you win your division, you get an automatic bid for the playoffs, and the lowest seed you could get in the first round is the 3rd seed.
This has been the Nets' best quarter of the game. They outscored Miami in the second quarter 24-17. They've outscored the Heat here in the third quarter 28-17. If you're just finding us, the Heat got off to a great start in this game. They doubled up the Nets after one at 24-12.
Now there's some confusion on the substitution after a 20-second timeout. You can't make 2 substitutions. You can only make 1. With Alonzo Mourning in the game, D-Wade's got to wait to come into the game.
So it's Posey, Mourning, Walker, Payton, and Williams for Miami. For the Nets, Kidd, Carter, Kristich, Jackson, and Jefferson. Jason Williams takes that wide turn. Now Walker drives on Kristich, turns into the middle and misses on the short hook. Lid on the basket for the Heat. They're shooting just 37% in this game.
Well, you got to play good D while you stop the bleeding on offense. The Heat's going to get back in the rhythm of this game, but they don't want to get too far behind.
The Nets have hit 9 of their last 10 shots, make it 10 out of 11. Vince Carter having what you would call an untouchable quarter. 18 points in the quarter, 32 points for the night. And that's just what he had last time these two clubs hooked up.
Well, that's how the Heat got beat in Cleveland, with LeBron James scoring 41, getting all those crucial baskets in the fourth quarter.
So it's an 11-2 run by the Nets and a chance to add some more to it. Jefferson streaking in. A 15-2 New Jersey run. They have turned the tables and opened up a double-digit lead.
And it's mostly coming off of fast breaks, off of Heat misses and turnovers.
The Nets now with 16 fast break points, and we get an offensive foul on Alonzo Mourning.
Alonzo Mourning was getting position in the low post, threw an elbow at Mark Jackson for the offensive foul.
Amazing turnaround in momentum in this second half.
Watch Alonzo Mourning's right elbow. See the shot right there in the neck of Jackson? That was an offensive foul.
Now Bill Kennedy saying, let's take a short stop and play.
We got to wipe the floor. It's wet over there in front of the Nets bench.
And Pat Riley trying to get his club back on track here tonight. 32 points allowed in this third quarter, including an 11-0 run by New Jersey here. After that great first quarter for Miami, it's really been a game the Nets have had pretty good grasp on.
56-34 since that first quarter.
Ouch. And it left here in the third. Vince Carter putting his stamp all over this game. And before the shot, Gary Payton whistled for his second foul.
Fourth foul on Miami, so New Jersey will get it out on the side.
Now for Vince Carter, this is his 6th game of the year over 30 points. Carter last year in the playoffs against Miami averaged 27 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 6 assists. He was held to just 37% shooting in Miami's 4-game sweep in the first round over the Nets. Carter covered by Payton. He checks the shot clock. Now steps back. Jason Williams pulls down the miss.
And Carter missed the shot.
In the morning, look out below. First points of the game for Mourning off his 34th dunk of the year. Jason Williams with his 3rd assist.
That reminded you of Tim Hardaway to Alonzo Mourning of years ago.
Final 30 seconds of the third quarter. This crowd has refocused on the game. Carter drives in. Mourning went for the shot block. And Carter will go right back to the free throw stripe.
Probably a foul on Payton, I believe. No?
It's on Mourning. And that is number 3 on Alonzo. Vince Carter going to the free throw line, where he is 6 of 6 tonight. And I've been by the Miami Hoops Gear store twice in the last 2 home games. The Christmas list growing shorter thanks to Miami Hoops Gear. You can check out the latest authentic jerseys, t-shirts, hat, novelties, gifts, and the new Miami Floridian throwback fashions. My group going to see plenty of that under the Christmas tree. Shop online anytime at MiamiHoopsGear.com, or you can visit the new locations at Dadeland Mall and the Dolphin and Sawgrass Mills malls. Or shop right here at the American Airlines Arena on the mezzanine level. You just may bump into me and the coach doing some last-minute gift giving. The holidays are here. Miami Hoops Gear has all your needs covered.
You might run into Crazy Andy with a bargain. So a lot of good stuff there. Christmas Day, Sunday it'll be open. Make those last-minute, shopping that you have to do. Eric, you may be in there again Sunday.
I hope not. 33 points for Vince Carter. 19 of them here in the third quarter. The Nets lead by 9 after twice trailing by 15 points in the first half.
A little over a second difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
Dwayne Wade on the runner. He has only 3 points here in the third quarter, 17 for the night. And this is Jacques Vaughn into the front court, got it off in time, but not down. What a quarter for New Jersey. 19 points for Carter, 19 for Miami. The Nets put up 33 in the third period. They take a 9-point lead into the fourth. And this year, when they lead through 3, they've been perfect. And it's Al Michaels standing courtside with Jason Jackson.
Once again on ABC on Christmas Day. And Al, once again, it's good to see you in South Florida. Too bad we don't have any storylines for you heading into the contest on Christmas Day.
You know, it's so funny, Jason. I was doing a promo for it on Monday Night Football the other night, and I'm going, well, it's Shaq and it's Kobe, and it's, Phil and Pat. And then I'm thinking to myself about 10 seconds later, I didn't even mention Dwayne Wade. I mean, that's amazing when, way down on the billing would be Dwayne Wade. That's when, you really got something special.
What's jumping off the page as you are preparing for this game between the two teams? We obviously had a 62-point night for Kobe earlier in the week. This is the first time the starting five's been together for the Miami Heat.
Right, and then they have their hands full tonight, as you can see, obviously, having a big lead disappear, now trying to, come from behind to win the game. But, Shaq is back and all of that, and I think, you've got a real good ball club. There's no question about that. I live in L.A. I went to the Laker game the other night. I mean, you had to be there to believe it, to see that 62 points in 33 minutes. So, I mean, that's what's jumping off the page right now. Kobe coming in here, Shaq, Pat, the whole thing, Dwayne Wade, it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, the Heat's house will be vibrating all afternoon long on Christmas Day. I can't let you go without talking a little bit of football. Of course, our heart and our thoughts and concerns go out to the Dungy family for the death of their family. But as you see it coming down the stretch, I mean, you got the Colts and you got the Seahawks right there, positioned to come together. Who are you looking at coming behind those teams?
Well, I'll discount the game that's coming up tomorrow, the Colts and the Seahawks, because it's not going to be anything to Indianapolis. Extraordinary circumstances, obviously, with the devastating death of Tony's son. And the Seahawks in a pretty good position right now to get the bye, obviously, maybe the #1 seed. But when it comes down to it, I still think Indy will be there at the end. Watch out for New England, obviously. I think what you're going to have is New England getting into the playoffs, maybe meeting Jacksonville in the first round, and then Indianapolis in the second round. That'll be phenomenal. I think Seattle, I'm beginning to believe they are the best in the NFC, but, you can put about 4 or 5 of those teams in a hopper and just shake it up, and somebody will come out. I'm not sure who yet.
It's going to be fun to watch it down the stretch. It's going to be fun to watch you and Hubie Brown do it on ABC coming up on Sunday. Thanks a lot. Happy holidays to you and yours.
My best, Eric and the coach, and you too, Jason. I've been watching you guys for the last 2 weeks, doing my homework.
We love the league pass, without a doubt. Over to you, Eric and Tony.
We are big fans of Al Michaels as well. We look forward to letting him do the work on Sunday. Al Michaels, a guy that can talk football and basketball as well as anybody in the country. Now, Dwayne Wade and the Heat dealing with frustration, also dealing with a 16-point deficit. A 3 by Padgett. Tony, this is hard for the eyes to believe, hard for the mind to comprehend. The Nets, on a 19-2 run, have gone from 15 down in the first half to 16 in front, 3 minutes into the final quarter of tonight's game. A shocker 2 nights before Christmas. Now, Miami took a 1-point lead back in this game with 3:48 left in the third quarter. But since that time, the Nets have exploded on a 19-2 Vince Carter fueled run. A shocking turnabout here at the American Airlines Arena. The Heat were up by 15 late in the second quarter. Now they're down by 16. And Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal, they had it rolling in the first half. They have struggled in the second. Posey for 3. Got it! Second triple. Second half for Posey. Well, the comeback begins with that triple. The Heat are down 13.
The good news, Eric, is there's plenty of time left in this game. Don't try to get it all back at once. Just keep trying to make stops at one end. And there's the charge there, drawn by D-Wade on Carter. Maybe he can get some momentum offensively.
Third foul on Vince Carter. He does have 33 points, 19 of them coming in the third quarter, where the Nets outscored the Heat 33-19. Miami going with Antoine Walker, Gary Payton, Shaquille O'Neal, James Posey, and Dwayne Wade. The Nets with Jacques Vaughn, Vince Carter, Scott Padgett, Mark Jackson has given him a lift, and Richard Jefferson. Jackson off the bench tonight has 8 points. Into O'Neal against Jackson. He turns and he missed. And the rebound batted out of bounds, I believe, by the Nets. The Heat will get a fresh shot clock to work with. Hey, and look, that was Ronnie Cycli that jumped off his courtside seat to argue the call for Miami.
Yes, big Heat fan. First player ever drafted by the Miami Heat. 1988, 9th pick in the draft.
When you're 6'11" and you jump out of your seat, we're going to notice you. 8:25 remaining in the fourth quarter. Miami down by 13.
Of course, Cycli is from the Syracuse area. Well, he played for Syracuse, put it that way.
Here's Shaq against Jackson, turns, hooks, and misses. And Mark Jackson grabs a rebound. Mark Jackson tonight has really played well. 8 points and 6 rebounds. And they've also gotten 6 points and 10 boards off the bench from Scott Padgett. Jefferson slips. Ball goes right in the hands of Wade with Payton. Lobs it up. Kidd broke it up. And Posey put it in, plus the foul.
How about the play by Posey? The frame of mind to go after that after Kidd stopped that lob. Posey kept running, got the ball finished. He's got 5 straight points for the Heat. Watch it again. Kidd makes a good play. Posey keeps running, taps it off the board to himself. He's going to the foul line.
James Posey has all 8 of his points here in the second half. That's a reason why you trail a fast break if you're an offensive player. Well, that's twice Payton has tried to lob for Dwayne Wade, and Jason Kidd has derailed the play.
They're waiting for that lob. Maybe next time Payton will throw it a bounce pass.
James Posey missed the first game this year between the Heat and the Nets when he had that sprained right thumb. James Posey now with 9 points. The Heat have scored 6 straight to cut the 16-point deficit to 10. Here's Vaughn, corner jumper. And the rebound tipped out by Kidd to Mark Jackson. They have a fresh shot clock. 7.5 left in the fourth period. Jacque Vaughn coming right on the drive, falls down, keeps his dribble alive. Padgett fakes the three, now fires. And the rebound of the relentless Udonis Haslem.
The ref should stop this game and make sure that the other end of the floor is wiped down.
Haslem in for Shaq, turns, hooks, hits, and a foul.
8 straight points for the Heat. 6 by Posey, 2 by Shaq, and he's going to the foul line.
Well, this 8-0 run coming on the heels of a 19-2 net response.
Transition offense by the Heat. Get it up the floor, run Shaq to the front of the rim. Finishes, and be on the line when we come back.
Well, the Heat have now scored 9 unanswered points in a span of 1:47. They were down by 16. All of a sudden, it's a 7-point game.
The Heat have had 3 runs in the game, Eric. 9-0, 8-0, and now currently in a 9-0 run. You know the home team, we mention it all the time, has a run left in them. This is the Heat making their bid right here.
Vince Carter comes up short. Dwayne Wade grabs the rebound. Wade with 17 points in this game. Only 3 of them in the second half. He hasn't scored in the fourth quarter. There's his jumper. It is no good. Dwayne Wade is 4 for 17 from the field tonight. Jefferson on the blow-by. Carter holding on to the offensive rebound, and it will be Nets ball.
Wow, look, you know, Shaq's not happy about it. Looked like it went off a blue shirt, but the official's right there, made the call. You see it again.
Here's Kristich, corner jump shot. And Shaquille O'Neal under his 12th rebound of the game. So the Heat's run is still alive. Miami has the last 9 points. 6:20 left in the fourth quarter.
And the Heat are clamping down on defense and having good offensive execution at this end.
Wade, quick step into O'Neal. Double team, missed the shot. Got it back. Look out! It won't count. Foul before the shot.
Yep, fouled on the ground. The Heat will take the ball out on the side. 3rd foul on New Jersey, though. The Heat does not have a foul in this quarter yet.
Cliff Robinson picking up his 4th. Robinson had to come on for Mark Jackson, who had picked up his 5th.
Watch as Shaq goes up. They're going to reach in right there. He got pushed by Robinson.
Well, the Nets with their 3rd team foul halfway through this fourth quarter. And now official Tony Brown stops play. He wants to talk with Derek Stafford. I think they have a timing issue here in Miami.
Yes, he was looking right at the clock when he blew the whistle.
Tony Brown, the 4th-year official, went to high school in Tallahassee and briefly went to Florida A&M before transferring to Clark University in Atlanta. Pat Riley's Heat. They've seen the tables turn, up 15 in the first half, down 16 here in the second, but now trying to get themselves back. And again, the officials trying to sort things out with 6:07 remaining here in the fourth period. And Dwayne Wade, it's been a frustrating night, missing 13 of his 17 shots to this point. Here's Haslem, steps into it. And this will be over the back on whom? I think Kristich is going to get it.
He was holding Shaq, so he couldn't go after that offensive rebound. Now the Heat will be in the bonus the rest of the quarter on a defensive foul by New Jersey.
3rd on Kristich. 4th team foul on the Nets. The Heat have yet to commit one in the fourth quarter. It's Gary Payton and Dwayne Wade in the Miami backcourt now. Heat bench with just 8 points tonight, and a traveling violation on Shaquille O'Neal. The 9th turnover of the game for a Heat team that is shooting just 35%.
Let's see it again. Wow, okay. Yeah, he was shuffling that left foot. Looked like the left foot was the pivot foot, and he dragged it a little bit. That's really cutting it close.
Home crowd venting on the officials at the moment as Jefferson draws foul on James Posey. That won't help the situation. Posey picks up his 2nd foul, but Heat's 1st of the fourth quarter. Well, Allen Iverson of Philadelphia finishing with 53 points, but the Sixers lost at Atlanta 111-108. Carter drives in, draws a foul on Miami, Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq came over to help, but his body hit Carter as he put the shot up on the baseline after he spun on Wade.
O'Neal's second foul. Let's take a look at our NBA Toyota scoreboard. A busy night, gang. 14 games. Iverson 53, but Atlanta wins their 7th game of the year. And the Lakers win in Orlando 104-88. Kobe Bryant with 21 points, 9 assists. The Magic lose their 4th straight. The Lakers will come here having won 9 of their last 11 games. Vince Carter getting both. Carter with 35 points tonight against Miami. The Nets leading it by 9 with 5:23 remaining in the game. Wade to his right. Here's Posey from downtown. Rebound taken by Robinson. Hit ahead, broken up by Posey. That's a terrific play.
There's the intangibles we talked about.
Wade missing on the 3. Cliff Robinson with another New Jersey rebound. The Heat cannot buy a field goal. 3 of 15 from downtown. 34% overall shooting tonight for Miami.
The Heat needs another run now to get this 9-point lead down.
Carter pulls up. Ricochets off. O'Neal with his 14th rebound of the game. That's a season high.
9-point deficit.
4:40 remaining in this contest. Lob for Shaq. He crashed it through. A terrific setup by Dwayne Wade.
D-Wade saw Shaq, made eye contact. He spun on his man. Perfect pass, perfect finish.
An 11-2 run by the Heat. They're within 7 for the 2nd time in this 4th quarter. Carter out to Kidd. 3 on the way. No. Rebound, Haslam for Miami. His 7th rebound.
Well, you know, the Heat are used to making runs when they're behind. They were down 23 in Cleveland and cut it to 4 in the 4th game in 5 nights on the road.
4 minutes remaining in the ball game. The entire Heat bench on their feet right now. Payton for 3. Kaboom!
Good pass by Wade. Payton buries the 3. The Heat right back in the game, down 4. Little over 3:40 left in the game.
A 14-2 run back by Miami. 3:40 left. Jefferson from downtown. Rims out. Haslam with his 8th rebound. Now Gary Payton tripling a moment ago. His 23rd of the year. Here's Shaq against Cliff Robinson. They clear the side. That one popped in and out. Jefferson outletting for Kidd. This is Carter. Payton is back. Carter comes middle. Payton commits the foul.
Payton was trying to get him low, so Carter, once he gets in the air, as we mentioned, he's very difficult to stop. Payton reached in, but he got his arm, got Carter's arm.
3rd foul on Gary Payton. That is the 3rd team foul on Miami. Vince Carter will go to the line for 2 more free throws. He's 9 of 10 at the stripe, has 35 points.
Well, right now with the Heat down late in the game, offensive execution is important. You could see how Christic was playing Shaq on that baseline side. Wade and Shaq combined for a perfect play. Then Wade notices that Payton's open. He's been shooting the ball real well lately, and he buries the 3.
Vince Carter now has 37 points, just 1 off his season high. Back on December 9th, put up 38 points at Cleveland. It's a 6-point Nets lead with 3 minutes left. Posey, baseline drive all the way in, draws the foul on Richard Jefferson.
Posey's been doing that a lot more lately, Eric. People have been playing that 3-point shot. He draws the foul.
Who would have thought James Posey would be outscoring Richard Jefferson? If only there was something we could do about that Carter fella. On ABC, Tony and I will take the holiday off and enjoy the game right along with you here at the Heat's house. You can listen in Sunday, 610 WIOD with Mike Inglis and John Crotty, or Jose Pineda has the call in Spanish on 1140 WQBA.
Yeah, there's John Crotty and Mike Inglis.
Does he let John talk?
Oh, yes.
Good.
Yeah, he lets him talk.
Only kidding.
I did that with Mike for a while. Mike does a real nice job, got a great voice. And
wait a minute, though. He's still talking.
Come on, Mike, I'm trying to stick up for you, man.
Meanwhile, the Heat are down 6 with just under 3 minutes left in this game. James Posey at the line has 9 points and 6 rebounds. They get 10 points for Posey. Posey's been in double figures now in 2 of his last 3 games. The Heat are down by 5. The closest they've been in this fourth quarter was 4. And here another whistle and foul. This will be against Posey. That's his 3rd and Miami's 4th of the period.
So both teams are in the bonus now the rest of this quarter on a defensive foul.
Vince Carter leading the Nets with 37 points. He's hit his last 4 shots. He's 12 of 24 for the night, and he's already played 41 minutes. Comes left, down the lane, runs into O'Neal and scores anyway. Well, it's a new season high for Vince. He has 39 points. And that is the most ever scored by a Net in a regular season game against the Heat, surpassing the 38 that Derek Coleman had back in the '92 season. So Vince Carter putting up a magic number at Miami's expense. He also has the Nets up by 7. Carter with 39.
D. Wade's got to be careful. You remember he had a technical foul earlier in this game. If he gets too frustrated and gets another one, he has to leave.
Kristich fouled on the takedown. Well, right now the Heat do have a look of a team battling not only the Nets but their own frustration. Got to give the Nets some defensive credit tonight as well.
A lot of similarities we mentioned between Wade and Carter. Watch as Carter goes in and draws contact, still is strong enough and has that body control to score. And that's what Wade does.
Nenad Kristich at the foul line, but it's been Vince Carter's night. He's done all of that with only 1 turnover in the game. Efficiency for Carter, the 8-year man out of North Carolina who has found a new home and a new hoop life in New Jersey. 2:03 to go. The Nets are up 8. Kristich with only 4 points tonight. Antoine Walker reaching up, grabbing his 7th rebound. Now Miami, after 5 straight games with 30 points or better from their bench, just 11 bench points tonight. Wade misses inside. Dwayne Wade only 3 points in the second half.
Very unusual for that man.
He's missed 16 of his 20 shots in this game.
Didn't have a high scoring night against Atlanta the other night. Usually doesn't have 2 in a row like that.
And Carter going back to the free throw line. Now the headband may be a little out of place, but nothing else is about Vince Carter. He's going to go to the line with 39 points. He's made 11 of his 12 free throws.
And you can see why New Jersey's on a 4-game winning streak. They're riding his 32-point average over the last 4 games.
Well, just 2 games ago, the Heat saw LeBron James of the Cavaliers score 41 in a 115-107 Cleveland win. And the night here on Sun Sports in front of a packed house in Miami, the Nets have taken control since the first quarter. Now they're a minute 34 away from evening the season series with the Heat. 85-75 Nets. Vince Carter with 41, the most a Net has ever scored against Miami. Well, an extraordinary turnabout inside the Heat's house tonight. Miami late in the second quarter, up by 15. We've been dwelling on Vince Carter's 41 points. I would contend, Coach Tony, that it's the Nets defense that really turned the game in their favor. They've held Miami to 34% shooting, and they've limited Dwayne Wade tonight to 17 points. Wade missing 16 of his 20 shots.
And D. Wade was 8 for 10 at the half from the foul line. He's only 1 for 2 in the second half.
And there's another play by the New Jersey defense. And Capono takes the foul. Tony, in 3 of the last 4 games Miami has played, they've seen individuals explode against their defense. Allen Iverson had 35 in Philadelphia. LeBron James led the Cavaliers to their win with 41. And tonight, Vince Carter has pasted up 41 on the American Airlines Arena tote board.
And Kobe Bryant's coming in after scoring 62 2 games ago.
Well, the Heat had won 6 straight regular season games against the Nets and the 4-game playoff sweep last spring. You got to go back to February 28th, 2004 for the last Nets victory over Miami. Jason Kidd tonight, 12 points, 7 boards, 5 assists. Haslam comes down with his 9th rebound. Shaquille O'Neal with a good night, 24 points and 14 rebounds, but not enough of anything else, including consistency for the Heat tonight. Vince Carter picks up the foul. Things were going so well for Miami early. They led 24-12 after 1 quarter. They were up 40-25 late in the second. They also led it 30-15 early in the second.
Eric, we were talking about during the second period how the Heat were letting the New Jersey Nets stay in the game by missing easy shots at the rim, free throws, and that comes back usually to haunt you later on, and tonight it did.
I'll tell you what else has come true for the Nets. They are the only team in the NBA without a loss when leading through 3 quarters. 12-0 with a lead through 3. They did lead this game by 9 through 3 quarters.
And Eric, the Heat were down 10. They fouled Kidd. He missed both free throws. Then the Heat got Capono made a free throw, missed the second one. The Heat put it back, so it's a 7-point game.
Vince Carter poked in the eye. He'll go to the free throw line with a little bit of blurry vision in that left eye. Tony, the Heat with only 78 points in this game. During the current run, the Heat have, matter of fact, the Heat with a run of 6 straight games with 100 points or more, the NBA's longest active streak of 100-point games. But the Nets looking to hold a 4th straight opponent under 100. And Lawrence Frank calls a 20-second timeout. Vince will readjust the contact. I think the Nets refocusing in on defense has really turned their whole team around. We'll be right back. The Heat wanted to spend their last home game before Christmas. The Heat came in having won 5 of their last 6. The Nets came in a game over 500, but they've won 4 straight. And Dwayne Wade, one of the worst shooting games of his 3-year career. Tony, he has hit on just 1 field goal in 11 tries in the second half. Clearly has been a frustrated guy.
You never saw that coming, Eric. As I mentioned, he was 8 for 10 from the foul line in the first half, and you expected him to get to the line more in the second half, but he hasn't, and he's having a real poor shooting night, as you pointed out.
And meanwhile, Vince Carter with an 8 for 14 second half. 27 of his 41 points have come here in the second half. The 28-year-old Vince Carter, the 5th pick back in the '98 draft by the Toronto Raptors. Now he'll be the all-time scoring leader for the Raptors for a long, long time. Minute 6 left in the game. Vince Carter now with 42.
You look at his 7 years in the NBA. You mentioned it earlier. 24-point average, 39% from 3, 79% free throws, over 5 rebounds a game, almost 4 assists a game. Those are close to Hall of Fame numbers.
Vince Carter, by the way, his career high, 51 points in February of 2000 when he was playing for the Raptors against the Phoenix Suns. Antoine Walker off the glass for 3.
Fortunately, you don't have to call off the glass. I don't think he tried that, but it went in.
It's a 6-point Nets lead, and Carter fouled on the backcourt with 53 seconds to play in the 4th.
You know you're not in a good situation when you got to rely on the other team to miss free throws. Watch Walker here. He doesn't bank shots. That one he did.
Well, here we are. It's 10 after 10, and banking hours still open for Antoine.
He'd like to be open a couple of more hours, a couple of more shots anyway.
Vince Carter, 15 of 16 at the line tonight. A season high, 44 points.
He said AI had 51 earlier.
Yes.
Carter with 44.
And Carter now with 45, which is tied with an Allen Iverson game for the 5th most points ever scored by an individual against Miami's defense. Well, Vince Carter's show and the Nets defense paving the way to what appears to be, although there's still time left, but the Nets appear to be heading toward a 5th straight win, but still 47 seconds left. Miami down 8 and Jason Kapono at the stripe. Well, the Nets had lost 3 straight. But back on December 16th, an overtime win over Denver has triggered a win streak. They went on to beat Golden State by 28, the Clippers by 14, the Magic by 11, and right now they're 7 ahead of the Heat. Kapono gets both. Miami down 6. Carter will go right back to the foul line. They'll give the Nets credit. They keep getting the ball to their best free throw shooter. Vince Carter, 17 of 18 at the line. You get the feeling he is enjoying every second and every drop of this.
Well, he's on a roll. He was on a roll coming into the game, and now he's more on a roll, scoring all those points.
Vince Carter, during the 4 straight wins, averaging 32 points a game, a number that will head north. .46 for Carter. .47. Now Vince gone bottoms up 2 more times for the free throw line. 47 points for Carter in 43 minutes of work. Welcome back courtside here at the American Airlines Arena in Miami. This was the middle game of a 4-game homestand for the Heat before they go to the road for 9 out of 10 games. And this is not what Miami had hoped for. And Tony Fiorentino, almost remarkable how dramatically and decisive a game could turn.
Yeah, it did. In that second quarter when the Heat weren't scoring and New Jersey stuck around, and then Jefferson made that 3 at the buzzer going into halftime to cut an 8-point deficit into a 5-point deficit, and then it's been all New Jersey Nets since then at both ends of the floor.
The Nets are looking for a 5th consecutive win, a win that would vault them in the first place in the Atlantic Division. The 76ers lost earlier tonight in Atlanta, so they fall to 14-13. The Nets would go to 14-12 if they hold on and win here. The Nets winning 3 of the last 4 Atlantic Division titles back in 02, 03, and 04. They finished 3rd last year, 3 games behind the Boston Celtics. Just under 45 seconds left in the final quarter. Miami's down 8 points. Kapono drives all the way in unimpeded.
New Jersey obviously is playing the 3-point line, so you got to take what they give you.
5 points for Kapono, looking for the steal. Carter driving into the lane and fouled from behind by James Posey.
The Heat were trying to steal the ball before they fouled, and then Carter got away from him. That's why so much time ran off the clock.
Vince Carter has already set a new American Airlines Arena record tonight. Most points ever scored in this building, eclipsing, believe it or not, 43 by morning against the Nets back in February of 2000. Carter tonight with 48 points. It's one of the highest scoring games by an opponent in Heat history. Vince Carter now with 49. So it is the 4th highest scoring game in opponent history against the Heat, behind Willie Burton's 53 points, Alex English's 51, and Michael Jordan's 50. So the 4th highest scoring game by an opponent in 18 years of watching the Heat. And he'll get a chance to shoot some more free throws. 21 of 22 at the line. He will go to the stripe with 49 points. And his 24 free throw attempts in this game will also tie an all-time opponent high. Willie Burton had taken, actually that's free throws made, pardon me. Free throw attempts, Let's see. He will finish, it looks like, with the third most free throw attempts. Now Carter has 51 points in the game. So this ties Alex English, the second highest scoring game ever against Miami. Antoine Walker hitting the three. It's 95-88 with 15 seconds left. It will be Heat ball.
Carter finally made a mistake. He dribbled the ball out off his foot out of bounds.
Now Vince Carter 1 point away from a New Jersey Nets individual game record. Mike Newlin and Ray Williams each had a 52-point game for the Nets. Ray Williams doing it in 1982, Mike Newlin doing it in 1979. So one of the great games ever turned in by a New Jersey Net, and one of the great opponent nights against Miami in 18 years of Heat basketball. You don't like the result, but you got to tip your hat and respect the 51-point performance by Vince Carter. And the Nets coming here to Miami and winning it by 7. New Jersey has now won 5 in a row. This victory vaults them in the first place in the Atlantic Division. And there you see how it ranks all time among Heat opponents. Richard Jefferson, one of the great facilitators for the Nets, had 8 points in this game. I'm sure he'll have something to add on Vince Carter's 51-point night and a sweet road win. Jefferson standing by with Jackson.
Eric, we will get to that historical scoring night on Vince Carter. Talk to us, though, about coming out at halftime. You're down 5. You guys simply explode in the third quarter.
Well, we're a much more confident team. You know, we've been winning some games on the road. And, you know, we got down early because there were some uncharacteristic things that we were doing. I missed some easy layups, missed some open shots. So we stick with it, and we came back, you know, only down 5 at half. And then the second half, we came out and were the aggressors.
How much did you feel like you personally changed the momentum with that 3 at the end of the second quarter?
Huge. I had struggled. I had missed a couple of dunks. You know, had some tough plays not go my way. And so, you know, I just kept my head high. My guys hit me for a wide open shot and came out in the second half with the same kind of confidence.
How tough was it to hold off the Heat? You know a home team's always going to give you one more run.
Always, especially since they got off to the big lead. Then we came back and got a big lead, and then they started to come back. But, you know, Vince Carter, you know, he's one of the best players in the game. And tonight, you know, when other people were struggling, including myself, you know, he took everybody on his back, and what did he give up, 51, 52?
An all-time record in the building, a matter of fact. And a little bit about your message to him. You have been one of the major drum majors in the Vince Carter band, saying, hey, we need you to be the ultimate scorer that you are. Have you seen that over the last week?
Yeah, you know, everybody brings different things to the table, and you know, he's one of the best scorers out there. My ability is just to be versatile, whether we need defense, we need rebounding, we need scoring, to do whatever we need to do. And his job is to go out there and score. So don't worry about anything else, just put that ball in the basket.
Thanks so much for the time. Happy holidays to you and your family.
Thank you.
All right. Much more to come here on Sun Sports. Heat postgame on the way. You want to see teammates getting together? It was a great night for Jefferson and Carter. Win in the building. Number 5 straight for them. We're coming back.